Welcome. If you're new here, welcome back. If you've been with me before to the 8th concession, our property here in Southern Ontario, Zone 5B, my name is Natalie. It's officially spring. It feels like spring today, but it didn't a couple of days ago. 2 days ago, we had quite a bad storm, almost a freak storm, come through. Temperatures plunged. We had about 15 centimeters, about 6 inches of snowfall, and then freezing rain on top of that. It really did a number on everything around here, coating everything in ice. I was worried a bit about my orchard because if you get this type of ice or freeze after the buds have sort of burst and have started to form the flowers, which will give you your fruit, it could be that they're damaged beyond repair and you get nothing for the year. This year, the buds had not burst yet. They hadn't opened. So far we're okay. But with these warm temperatures now, they're going to start to open, and I just hope we don't get another storm like that. And then the next day, after we had all this snow and ice and driving was treacherous, we had 18 degrees, which was crazy, and everything melted, and then everything was underwater. But at least it was safer for driving. But this up and down with the weather, it's like a roller coaster. Now I'm hoping that everything settles down and we just have sort of a slow increase in temperatures. But today I have an exciting project I want to try. It's a new type of seed starting, and it's called a seed snail. And if you haven't heard of it, it's a way to start your seeds but save a lot of space, especially if you don't have a lot of room. And while I do have a nice area to start my seeds, you can see that it's pretty crowded under the lights. I don't have a whole lot of lights. I have lots of shelf space, but they're all crowded for the lights. So if this will help sort of compact the space I need to start seeds, well, that could be a really good thing. So I'm going to try that today with my cucumber seeds, a seed snail. I also want to show you what's been happening in the garden. I came down here yesterday to see how my mini greenhouses were doing. There was still snow on the ground, but you can see that despite the fact that things had been in below zero temperatures and ice and snow, look what was happening underneath. These are the lettuce seeds. You can see that they've sprouted here and there, and that the mini greenhouses are doing their job perfectly. This is the next day. You can see all the snow is gone now in one day, and you can see, at least I hope you can see, all the lettuce seeds that have sprouted. Let's check on the spinach, see if they have germinated. Forgive my chickens yelling over there. They've had their treat, but look, I see some spinach that has sprouted. That's amazing considering this was 6 inches under snow just a day ago. And despite the ice and the snow and the freezing temperatures, the garlic doesn't care. It's looking fantastic. I wouldn't have believed it with that ice and snow we had 2 days ago, but today it really feels like the gardening season is coming. So let's get inside and get those cucumbers going, because soon I'll be planting them in my garden. So, a seed snail, what is it and why use it? Well, it is a way of wrapping soil so that you have a compacted area to plant your seeds. The benefits are supposed to be that you have seeds sprouting in a much smaller space in case you don't have a lot of room. It encourages long root growth, and it makes it easier to transplant because you're going to unroll your seed snail and be able to gently take the seedlings out rather than trying to force them up through a pot of some kind. Is it better? Well, we're going to see. Today I am going to start my cucumber seeds in a seed snail because I think they're the perfect candidate. We have about 6 weeks, I think, until our last frost date, so I think it's perfect timing. And we're going to see if it is better than pots, because the pots do take up a lot of room. So let's see if this is going to work. So what do you need to make a seed snail? Well, first you need some sort of material that you can roll up. Now you see I have some plastic here. You know that here on the 8th concession, I'm not a huge fan of plastic. I try to avoid it where I can, which of course is somewhat impossible, but I reduce my use of it as much as I can. This came wrapped around an appliance we just bought. So rather than throw it in the garbage, I'm going to use it for my seed snail. You can also use wax paper, which is probably what I would have used if I didn't have this bit of bubble wrap here. You can use foil, you can use sort of thin, flexible foam, you know, you sometimes get around, again, appliances or handles of fridges or things like that when you buy them new. So you do want it about 4 inches wide. I didn't measure this. I think I'm a little short. I have a feeling this is more like 3 inches, but I'm going to use it. But I'm going to use it anyway because this is what I have. The reason you want it wider is that gives more room for the roots to grow down. But I think I'll be okay with the cucumbers in about a 3-inch wide. You need some soil, of course. And here I have actually a mix of 50-50 composted cow manure and like a triple mix for the garden. I'm not using potting soil for the simple reason is I need this soil to stay together as I roll the seed snail, and I find that the potting soil, because it has a lot of peat moss in it and perlite, it's just a little too loose. So I'm using this because it is nice and sort of sticky. Oh, dirty hands already. I've moistened it, you can see, and you don't want it too wet, but you want to be able to make a ball and have it stick. You will also need, of course, your seeds. I have my varieties of both pickling and slicing cucumbers. And then you're going to need something to fasten the seed snail together once you've rolled it. I have some elastics here of different lengths, so hopefully that will be good. You could also use twine or anything else you have. Let's get started. So it's not complicated. I'm just worried it's going to be a little bit fiddly, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the soil down on my material, whatever it is you're using. I would like to say about 1 inch to 2 inches thick, if I can manage that. Not going right to the edges either. Can always fill in some more after we've created our snail. Okay, and now we make our snail. Oh, but just before we do that, I'm going to quickly measure it. Well, actually, this is 4 inches. I was wrong. So the piece I have is 4 inches wide by just over 3 feet long, just for point of reference. All right, let's see how rolling this up goes. Now my only worry is my elastics are not going to be big enough. Well, we'll see. Oh, making a mess as usual. All right then, I'm going to use 2 just to make sure. Well, that wasn't that difficult at all. What do you think? Now I'm going to put it in this little tray here. Again, I am recycling some plastic that some spinach came in. I think that'll fit in there perfectly. Great. And now what I'm going to do before I plant, I am going to tamp this down a little bit so it's firm. Now the fun part, planting. Now because I'm going to be planting 2 different varieties of cucumbers in the same seed snail, just so I don't forget, because I will, I've got 2 little wooden sticks here. One says pickling, one says market more for the slicing, even though only one variety is market more. The other one is just, it doesn't matter to me that they're not both market more, they're both slicing. So I think I will do the pickling cucumbers in the center. Now you can plant them fairly close together, because what you want is you want the plant to grow down and the roots to get those, the advantage of the full 4 inches there. So we're going to do our pickling cucumbers first. And I'm going to put them about 1/2 inch apart. So those are the pickling. And then on this ring now, which I think is about the same distance, I'm going to do the slicing cucumbers. These are not all just for me, by the way. I'm planting some for my grown children who have their own gardens. So we'll do some of the actual market more, and then we'll do some of the improved long green. And there's the market more. Improved long green. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to push them down into the soil. Now, even though I moistened the soil, I'm going to give them some more water. There you go, 1 seed snail done. And that wasn't some sort of editing magic. That truly was the first time I attempted to roll it. It really wasn't as fussy as I thought it would be. Now, I think the trick certainly was making sure that the soil you're using is moist and that it's something that will clump together better than, say, potting soil with a lot of peat in it. I think that made the difference. And leaving a little edge on the top and bottom so that you had some room to fiddle. But it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it might take me a few tries and soil would be flying everywhere. It really wasn't hard at all. Now, the trick will be to see how well the plants grow in it. What I'm excited about is when I go to transplant, simply unrolling the seed snail and pulling out those little plants without disturbing their roots, because they will have grown down, and I can just gently scoop them up and plant them. Now, this is not a method that I would use with certain plants, and that is my loofahs. Loofahs really hate to be transplanted. They hate their roots being disturbed at all. I've found that out the hard way over the years. So what I typically do with them is I'll plant them in a newspaper pot, so I can put the whole pot in the ground and really not touch the roots at all. So this is not a good method for anything like that that's really fussy about transplanting. But I think this would be good for tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, melons, zucchini, which I still haven't started. I should probably get them started as well. Cabbages, anything like that. Oh, onions too. Onions would do really well, because you could plant them really close together and then just unroll it instead of pulling it out and trying to separate them. I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be great. The other thing is just the amount of space it saves with the seeds. As I mentioned, my gardening area up there, I have shelf space, but not so much light space. I counted as I planted these. There are, now I can't remember, was it 27 or 28 seeds? Well, it's not that big a difference. So imagine how many, how much room 28 pots would take up. Even if you planted 2 to a pot, 14 pots is going to take up a lot of room. So I think that is a great way to save space, especially I think to onions and leeks. If this works really well for my cucumbers, I have a feeling I'll try this for my onions and leeks next year. Well, I hope you give a seed snail a try, and I'll show you how it goes and how, and more importantly, the transplanting goes. Is it easier? We'll find out together. Bye for now.